most. The number of events that you run, that sense of community that you feel at Forge, you don't get. I've never seen that anywhere else in this type of setting. Simon Harding, I'm 48 years old, and I started end of July, so about 4.5 months.
Cool. So I think before you started, were you at a gym before?
Yeah, I've been to a few gyms over the years. So I did Leisure World. Before that, I was at a gym in town. I can't remember, in Colchester. I can't remember the name of it there. I was going there for about 4 or 5 years with a couple of friends. So I knew a little bit about working out, but I've learned that I was doing a lot of the exercises wrong, is what I've learned coming here.
Yep.
And when I was going there, although I was going pretty consistently at times, I never seemed to really change very much. Since I started here, I've changed dramatically. I've lost quite a lot of weight, and my muscle tone has significantly improved. I feel stronger, feel fitter. And I'm surprising myself at things that I didn't think I could do that I can now do.
Okay, and you started with us on a 6-week program.
Yeah.
How did you get on with that? And then what were you doing session-wise then, and what are you doing now?
Yeah, so I started on the 6-week program. Felt tough to begin with, but that's because I was starting from a really low base. I hadn't been to the gym very much for quite a while, so I found it tough to begin with. Over the space of about a month, 2 months, pretty solidly built up. Was managing the small group classes much easier, and progressed on to some of the core classes, like Beat the Clock, which initially I didn't think I'd be able to do. Really surprised myself. And I'm now at the point that I quite enjoy those. Not quite looking forward to them, but I know I can do them, and I'm considering doing more of that type of class, just to try and improve my overall fitness rather than just focusing on sort of strength. To begin with, I never would have even been able to do those. What am I doing now that I couldn't do before? I can pretty confidently do press-ups, burpees, all of the things that I have found incredibly difficult to begin with. I'm now doing with relative ease, and now I'm focusing on technique, just making sure that I'm doing it properly
and doing it well.
Absolutely.
And I think if you can just share a little bit of like what kind of things, like what sort of numbers are we deadlifting, what kind of numbers are we squatting, those sort of things. I think it's helpful for people to know. Absolutely. Maybe if you know what you even started on.
I started really low, and that was because I really couldn't lift it. No more than about 40 kilos for a back squat, maybe 40 or 50 kilos for a deadlift. So now I'm moving up and up through the weights. Back squats, I can do 100, 110. Front squats, 140 is the maximum I've done, not for many reps. But again, I've lowered my weight a little bit down to 100, 110 I'm pretty comfortable with. And I'm just making sure with your training and Chris and Joe's support as well, just making sure that I keep the technique right. So I'm not overloading myself too fast and compromising technique. But compared to what I was lifting, so very much more than I was lifting back in July. Yeah,
and just for the record, you work in a school. Hours are, what do they kind of look like?
So hours are, I'm in school anywhere between sort of 7 and 8, most days about 7:45. You do have early classes. I could get to those classes if I needed to.
And what time do you kind of finish?
I finish, well, again, it changes, but generally I'll make sure I finish at about 4:30 to get here. But again, I come to classes at 5:15, 6:15, 7:15. The availability of the classes is one of the factors that I really enjoy. And then I manage, I've got a busy schedule and I've got a family as well, which makes life even more tricky. But I always find that I'm able to get here. My wife comes here as well, and she's, between the two of us, we're able to get here. We've both got incredibly busy schedules, but the flexibility in the classes is one of the things that we value. And the fact that, it's an hour of really quite intense workout rather than what I used to do at the gym was two hours, and it wasn't, the pace of it wasn't very good. It was just too many breaks in between and so on. So yeah, this works perfectly for me.
Yeah. And what would you say to somebody who's sitting on a fence, unsure whether Forge is right for them?
The biggest thing for Forge, which we haven't talked about yet, is the sense of community. I look forward to coming to see the people that I work out with, the encouragement we get from the coaches, you know, and from each other is just real positive. And it's one of the things that I actually personally value the most. The number of events that you run, that sense of community that you feel at Forge, you don't get. I've never seen that anywhere else in this type of setting. And I think that's one of the absolute game changers for me. And it's I never have that feeling of I don't want to come. I'm keen to come to see the people I work out with, and and it's just it makes it much easier as well, you know, because that sense of friendship and belonging that you get here. So I really value that.
And looking ahead more at yourself, what's the kind of goals for the next 12 months for you?
So probably want to try and do more Forge Flow, beat the clock, but I'm interested in pushing the weights a little bit more. So I want to try and do a bit more strength training. You know, I don't want to be huge, but I feel that I've got I feel I've got capacity to go further, a lot further, and that's something I'm quite keen to explore. But I also know, talking to yourself, that that's something that you're constantly doing. You're constantly looking at building the program around what the community needs and what the community wants. So I'm really optimistic about the opportunities that I've got here to meet my specific goals and my specific needs. I don't want to go too far, but I want to take my time and build slowly so that my overall health is good. But yeah, ultimately, I think I want to do a bit more strength training and just, you know, see how much I can lift. Deadlift is my favourite. I want to see how much I can deadlift.